Gentlemen, it is gains season. I just finished my first ever cut. That means it is time to bulk up and get huge. And as you can tell, I'm really excited about it. The modern philosophy of bulking is different than how guys like Arnold did it, where you see them eating crazy plates of steak and eggs and absolutely just stuffing themselves. You gain a lot of mass that way and potentially a lot of muscle, but also a ton of fat. So the modern bulk is what's known to colloquially as the lean bulk, where you're trying to make sure that every single extra calorie you put into your lovely human body turns into some nice muscle that you've hard earned and don't have to spend a ton of time losing fat. And instead, you're just looking more muscular and more muscular and more muscular the longer the bulk goes on. This is going to be my first ever bulk, which hopefully should span over the course of about this upcoming year, 2025. And I'm going to lay out a few things that I've thought about and how I'm planning to do this bulk and why I think mine hopefully could be one of the coolest bulks ever. And I'm going to document it on this channel as the year goes on. So the first thing I've done is utilize preparation. I am a noob at the gym, and that is a magical thing because in your first ever bulk, it is like going to the well of gains. There's this really famous study called the Rosnick study, named after the author, in 2002, where they looked at beginner lifters given 2,000 extra calories a day on top of their diet. And they wanted to see what would happen if we had these guys train with just 2,000 extra calories. The result is all the mass they gained went straight to muscle, which is insane. Now, I'm not going to exactly go about it Rosnick, but I have prepared for this bulk by training really seriously on my cut. In this past 2 months, I was doing strength workouts 6 times a week on my cut. So not only do I have the advantage of being a novice, as those trainees were in the Rosnick study, but I've also primed my body to have a muscle memory style effect because I've shown it that, hey, we really, really need to grow muscle by giving it so much stimulus during my cut and my fat loss phase that I'm expecting to have a really responsive body for muscle growth in this upcoming bulk. So I prepared for my bulk by being very diligent on my cut, which allowed me to lose a ton of fat, which should give me runway to bulk for a long time, and also hopefully not only get the beginner effect, but double dip into it with sort of a muscle memory effect I created from all my diligent training on my cut. Now, the second component of a successful bulk is planning. And as I learned from my cut, there is nothing more important than having a really solid meal plan so that you just execute on it, and a really solid training plan so that you just execute on it. I have estimated that I'm going to be burning about 31 to 3,200 calories a day. And even though you could go the Rosnick route of a crazy surplus, most advanced coaches would recommend like a 20% surplus for someone in my position. So I'm trying to eat about 36 to 3,800 calories a day for like a 600 calorie surplus on average. Now, that means I've mapped out the exact meals that are going to get me there because you really want to be precise with a lean bulk. You eat too little and you're not going to be putting on mass. So it is important to know you're getting the calories. You eat too much and you just sort of try to scarf down whatever is in the room. And then, boy, you could just be putting on a ton of fat. So bulking is just as scientific and as precise as cutting. And you want to make sure that you hit your macronutrient targets. For me, I have a bulk that is mainly protein focused. I've gone to probably about 250 to 270 grams of protein a day, which might sound a lot, but I don't want to risk at all under eating protein. And since I anticipate having this beginner and muscle memory effect, I do think that at least for the beginning, the extra protein will help me. Now, the third thing for executing a lean bulk effectively, and there's no way around this, is to train like an animal. And here again, starting off with a cut and working out while I was under a lot of stress from my body has really built a tolerance to physical exercise. And my first workout I had back, I just felt almost invincible. My first workout after my cut, where I actually had food in my system, I had energy, I had this big Thanksgiving meal giving me a ton of juice to really push it in the gym. Oh my God, that workout felt incredible. So you really need to be working out super diligently if you're trying to lean bulk effectively, because that's going to send all the signal to your body that, hey, we need to be putting on muscle, especially if you're trying to leverage beginner gains as I am and having a slightly higher caloric surplus. That needs to be met with a lot of intensity in the gym. So my plan is to do strength workouts no less than 6 times a week, possibly 7, but rest days can be important. So you shouldn't just go arbitrarily every day. Listen to your body. So that way I can be building a ton of muscle. And I'm also going to prioritize compound exercises, bench press, overhead press, squats, deadlifts, dips, pull-ups, other full body exercises, because those will allow me to hit all of my muscles. And as a beginner lifter, doing your first ever bulk, as long as those muscles are getting some tension in the gym, they are again primed for growth. So those are the 3 foundational pillars of my lean bulk strategy. Preparation for my cut, setting me up for a strong pathway to gains. Having a very clear meal plan that will make sure I get the caloric surplus to maximize muscle growth. And then finally, going really hard in the gym with a focus on progression and compound movements. I'm going to be reporting on my progress throughout 2025 and starting at the end of this year as well. So if you're interested to see how it goes, make sure to stick around. If you want to learn a little bit more about my cut and what got me to be so well prepared for this lean bulk, check out my video about my 2-month body transformation.